She's so nervous. I'm going to take so many of your pictures. So we had to pull teeth in order to get my grandmother to sit here in front of the camera to talk about 6 games that I played when I was growing up. Here, in this house, right, with you.
Yeah.
You beat me at the vast majority of these.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah? So, those of you that are watching, comment down below something nice, something positive. She'll never see it anyway, but she'll just know that there's people saying nice things instead of people, being mean online because she volunteered to be recorded.
You're right.
He
He volunteered me.
I tricked her and my grandfather into both hopping on camera. So, I'm here at your house, and I went hunting for what was remaining of any of the games we played as a kid. You've given away a lot of them to family members, grandchildren. People have come and just taken them. But there's a few that have remained. Mostly the games that we played so much that they're now worn out enough that no one wants to take them. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the boxes are falling apart and so on.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with, and if you can hear any ruffling in the background, that's just going to be Grandpa doing his best to make the non-caffeinated... What is it, Grandpa? Tea-chino, because he's not allowed to have caffeine anymore. Go watch the other video with him if you want to see us interact. Grandma, this is the game that I remember probably the most playing with you. This is Othello.
Yeah.
Can you tell me exactly how you play this game?
Well, you just use these little circles, and you try to see who. You take turns. You try to see who gets. Somebody's black, somebody's white, and you see who can get the most. When you're done, you can't play anymore.
Yeah.
And of course, there's little rules in there.
Well, you're playing them down the board, and anytime you make a straight row or connection between your two colors, you'll flip everything in between it over to the other side.
You're good at explaining these things.
I am good at, I have made a career out of it, and this is the first video you've ever done. So
that's right.
It might be the first video you've ever done in your entire life from how you avoided the camera.
The only one.
Potentially the only one you've ever done. This is a game, as you can tell from the cardboard and the pieces and the bits and the door that no longer stays quite shut, unless I never shut that myself, which might actually be the answer. This is a game that has been around for, 20 years? 30 years? Longer?
40 years.
40 years? I mean, you've had this in your house for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I remember one thing very particular about this game.
What?
That was never beating you at it. Never. Across the board.
Really?
You keep... Every time I mention it to you, you deny it. You're like, oh, I'm sure you've won. I'm not that good at games. But I've never won this against you. Now, granted, I was playing at the age of, 8, trying to figure out how to, accomplish it. But yeah, this is a abstract little puzzle game. I still really like this game. It's simple, it's easy to play, but it's fun. It's got pattern recognition, a little bit of pattern building. The one thing I think there is a sequence where you can weigh it in your favor strategically, just the odds and the math, if you start and you actually know the perfect rhythm to it. I'm not sure. I heard someone speculate about that. But yeah, this is a lovely little game. Let's jump over to... Yeah, they're all over the place. Grandpa's picking them up. This is just a complete mess. Take 5. Do you remember Take 5?
Oh, yes.
How do you play Take 5?
You just try to make 5 of your color in a row.
Okay.
And you win. The other person tries to stop you and make their own 5 colors in a row.
So it's kind of like tic-tac-toe. Well, not tic-tac-toe. It's kind of like Connect 4, but you're playing down into a board, and you can block and position and reposition and do your best to get a sequence of 5, right? Yeah. Any line, straight, column. A challenging strategy puzzler for 2. I remember enjoying this game a lot as well. I remember playing it. I remember the bright little orange and blue colors. How many... I mean, this one's also been around for a while. Do you know how long you've had Take 5?
Well, your mom would be... How old would she be now? 50? It's probably been... Maybe... She's not quite 4. She's 49.
Grandpa's trying to signal off camera. At this point, Grandpa, you can just speak up.
We've probably had it 45 years.
Probably, yeah.
Had it about 45 years.
Probably.
And you've played it with your children.
Yeah.
You played it with your grandchildren.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Soon you'll be playing it with your great-grandchildren.
Maybe.
Not mine, my sister's. My sister's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is... do you like this game?
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, just a fun little strategy game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick and easy. It's not something that takes hours. It's just, quick game to play.
Yep. Domain. This is getting a little bit more complicated. A little bit fancier. Do you remember this one?
Oh, yes.
Okay. What do you know about Domain?
It's sort of the same as that other one. You have to...
Very similar to
Color.
Othello.
Color thing. You try to get more colors than...
Yeah, you're going to be placing down these different shaped square objects or rectangular objects or, I don't know, whatever that, T's and stuff like that. And every time you place one down, you'll flip all the tiles next to it to the opposite color. So it's this back and forth push. You're trying to get the most black, the most white. I think it's actually blue and white. Yeah, the most blue, the most white, all down onto the board here. You've had this one since you had kids as well?
Yeah.
Have you had most of these? Were most of these like hand-me-downs from your family playing them when you had children in the home and then grandchildren showed up and just destroyed them more?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what most of these did. There is, I don't know if it's flavor text, but, yeah, no, it's just the overview. I like flavor text.
What's that?
Flavor text is the narrative that people tie to games. It's like a little bit of story.
Oh.
Like we were playing Meadow yesterday, and I read that thing about being a nature observer and walking around the field and looking at stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. But this isn't. This is just marketing writing from the Parker's brothers back in. I can't even see when this was made. Back a while ago. Cool. Trouble. Another well-used and well-loved board game box. I wonder if this has any flavor text. No, I don't think so. It does have all the rules you need right there on the back of it, though, so you never lose them. Have you had this since...
Oh, yeah.
Was this one I inherited as well?
Yeah.
How do you play Trouble? I think most people... I think this is a classic home game that most people are familiar with.
Yeah.
But how do you go about playing it?
Well, you can have 4 people or 2 people or 3 people,
Yep.
and you each have your own color, and you just try to pop the die, and it turns up a number. If it's a 1 or a 6, you can get out of your... Whoops, you start back behind. Anyhow, then you take turns.
And you're just waiting. You're just waiting for luck to be on your side so that you can
to get started.
Get all the way up and finish your row.
Right.
So, out of all these games so far, which one do you think you like the most? Which one have you had the most fun with families kind of growing up?
Well, this one, kids could at any age pretty much could play it.
Mm-hmm.
They like to pop. You might have to help them if they're too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just depends on the age of the person you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kids like them all.
Yeah, I'd agree. I remember growing up. I mean, the industry's changed so much over the last period of time, going from games like this into, I'd argue, better designed games, more strategic, more fun, more captivating, better art. Like, the industry has really transformed, but anyone that grew up playing board games, that now loves board games, that are around my age group, like, we grew up on this type of stuff. Like, the other stuff didn't exist. At least as far as I'm aware. I remember Debbie first introducing us to Catan and Ticket to Ride, and those being brand new doorways or gateway games into this wider world, into the 26,000 fans I have now.
Yeah.
So, I know. Should I not mention how many people might watch you? Is that what I shouldn't do? Do you know what this is called?
I can't remember.
Yeah, so this last game, I know it's compared to a game that I like a lot, which is going to be a game that has circles in the center. I'm blanking on all of these names that I should know. But if you know this, comment down below.
Sam could tell.
Grandpa, do you know what this is called?
This one.
Crokinole.
This is not Crokinole. This is related to Crokinole, though. This has nets all in the corner, and the object of the game is just like crokinole. You're going to be flicking and trying to get your pieces into these different nets. So instead of sequencing them into the center of the board here, this is going to be more like pool, where you're trying to get them to catch into the nets. I remember when you first got this. This was a blast. We played this a lot. I hurt my fingers sitting there flicking things across the table, doing my very best to score. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be, I think, 5 games I grew up playing. Mm-hmm. Recorded with my grandmother. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this.
That's 6.
I don't count, Grandma.
6 games?
Yeah, I'm not good at math. You didn't teach me that part.
That's right.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.